Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Heroes of the Storm.
Battle plan initialization in progress. Combat preparation advised.
As we listen to the announcer. So, you'll probably notice that I'm doing this based off of a recording this time rather than anything else. I just had a really good game, and I figured this would be one that I would happily upload and talk over. So, we're going to be watching my playview.
Time remaining
I'm going to have the camera on lock,
10 seconds.
just to make sure that we always stick on me. I might move around at times.
4,
But
3,
we're going to be, I'm going to be playing Alexstrasza in this game. My team is going to consist of an Uther, Kel'Thuzad, Cassia, and Nova. My enemy is going to be comprised of Junkrat, Li-Ming, Genji, Brightwing, and my mortal enemy, the single most annoying, worst character in this entire game, Murky, the Demon Murloc. So, we're playing on Warhead Junction. And we start off, as we always do, with the usual, Silver League clash in the middle of the battlefield. I kind of have to hang around in the middle. Like, my instinct in this case is always just go into one of the other lanes, especially since they have a Murky on their team. But the problem in this case is that I'm playing a support character, and I kind of have to hang around other heroes. It's just kind of the way I work. Especially when you're playing against a Murky, though, it's very important to have at least one character who is devoted to hunting Murky and keeping him from doing massive siege damage. And in this team composition, I think that character should have been Nova, but many times in this game I was frantically pinging on Murky for somebody to please do something about him. Nova's going down to hunt him right now, as you can see, but yeah, the other team is already splitting up into three directions. I got Genji up top doing damage, and the reason that they do that clash in the middle of the battlefield at the beginning of every game is to get the early hero kill, right? But every time this has happened in a game, like, I've always noticed that doing laning experience always seems to outnumber the experience you get from those early hero kills, unless you like wipe their whole team or get like a triple kill at least. So anyway, enough about that. Let's talk a little bit about Alexstrasza. I've been playing Alexstrasza almost exclusively ever since her launch. Again, it's not because she's a new hero or anything. I usually wait for the new heroes to go down to 10,000 gold price before I play them. I know that this means that I miss out on that point where they're usually unbalanced and OP, but in this case, I really just wanted to play Alexstrasza. I'll be the first to admit this is nothing to do with her her gameplay or her promise. It's just that she's a badass woman in a game, and that's a reason for me to play her. So yeah, my choice here to go up into the top lane was due to the fact that nobody was laning opposite Genji. I don't know why Kel'Thuzad felt the need to come follow me, but he did, and he's here. So we pushed him back. Also, Genji had a nuke all to himself. And I just wanted to kind of hang out here in the top lane in the off chance that we could possibly take him out. It didn't occur, as you'll soon see. He's going to end up dropping the nuke, and I think he also ends up killing me. Sorry for the spoilers, by the way. This is... So, a little bit about Alexstrasza. I found her kind of a bit of a mixed package at the beginning, because she's another one of those like Ana-style heroes who has generally pretty good healing, but she is not particularly good as a solo support character. I've seen teams utilize her as such in the game since she's arrived. Like, one of the builds that I've seen pop up a couple of times now is her like support build, focuses around leveling up her abundance. That's her AoE heal. But the abundance buffs throughout her talent tree, I don't think are actually all that useful. Like, the one that I think is one that you probably have to talent into if you're going for a heal build, or just in general, is the one where it increases the healing effectiveness of both her abundance and the healing gloves that she picks up. Also, her starting talents, I seem to have a little bit of a problem with. Like, I think probably the best one to go for is is again the one that talents her abundance. But all that really does is it increases abundance heal by 5% of max health, which, I mean, I suppose is something. It's definitely something. Yeah, this is where I'm gonna die. Oh, nope, never mind. This is not where I die. I'm gonna die a little bit later. So the other one, I believe the other one has to do with decreasing the cooldown of her Gift of Life. I don't really like her Gift of Life ability. The obvious problem with it is that it keeps decreasing in effectiveness every time she uses it, and just in general as she plays, because, you know, you're losing health as you play most of the time. Had to help save Uther there a bit. So I usually go off for... when I first got the hero, I started by talenting her Flame Buffet, but all that quest really does is decrease the cooldown of Dragon Queen, which is cool. But Dragon Queen already has, I think, a fairly good cooldown, as you only really want to use it when you're trying to defend objectives, and I think that contributing to her heal pool is probably a lot better than... you know, trying... Yeah, this is where I die. I kind of stupidly walk into this here. I wasn't paying attention to the map. I just tunnel visioned on Brightwing, but then Genji pops in, and then Li Ming comes in, and that's pretty much it for me there. Uther, I think, manages to escape. Again, my decision to try and stick around for the healing and my AoE heal was probably not the wisest choice, but you know what? Live and learn. Yeah. So, as you can see from my talent icons there, I go for the increased slow for Flame Buffet, but other than that, I like to talent Abundance's heal. I take the Healing Globe quest, the quest to gather Healing Globes, and basically the build that I go for is the that's me mass pinging Murky for somebody to please do something about that darn Murloc. You have to have one character who is focused on keeping Murky from doing this, which he is doing right now. But anyway, let's lock the camera back on me. And there I go. Like, nobody else wants to do it. Alright, fine, I'll do it myself. So, I finally managed to hit what I think is, like, the most comfortable build that I have for Alexstrasza, which is to go for Abundance, and then... Basically, the way healing works is that you want to cast your Abundance, you want to get yourself to full health as much as you can, and then pretty much exclusively use Gift of Life at full health. And otherwise, just keep mashing your Flame Buffet on enemy heroes. I'm wasted right now. This is Alexstrasza focusing on you know, doing siege damage to minions and target killing Murky. Yeah, this is where he managed to... at this point, I am focusing on trying to find where Murky comes from. And I didn't notice him down there. He very cleverly hid from me to get behind my back and go for the base kill. I figured this out once I saw him show up back there, and like at this point I see him and I'm like, yeah, there's no real point in going back, so I just quickly hunt around to see if I can't find his egg, and then I figure out that yeah, he must have come down here below. Just, you know, hit his egg back behind his fort. Anyway. Oh, and apparently the enemy team was dealing with disconnected issues. That's weird. So yeah, the enemy team has a 2-level advantage at this point, and I'm starting to feel like this is just another one of those games where we're just going to let Murky go unchecked. Nobody's going to do anything. But obviously, since I chose to showcase this game, you can probably guess that things are going to turn after a while. So Li Ming is the one who decides to come contest me here, and what ensues is, yeah, I'm just going to move over to the other side and pick it up here. She's just going to try and prod at me, because I think she realizes that if I go Dragon, she probably doesn't have much of a chance against me. So basically at this point, I'm just going to try to, you know, predict where she's going to show up. I can't see her at this point, right? I should probably emphasize that. So I just keep prodding her with my Flame Buffet. She keeps prodding me with her Orb and her Arcane Missiles. Keep trying to just move out of the way as much as possible. And I'm basically counting on the fact that eventually somebody on my team is going to notice that I am dueling Li Ming down here, and they're going to come and help me. After a while they don't, so I just keep Flame Buffeting her, take to the skies, and just doused her in flames. I was very proud of myself there. I think that was a good use of my ultimate ability, basically. And nobody else was going to make it here in time. Genji goes to pick up the nuke that Li-Ming dropped. So at this point, I pretty much get the free nuke drop on their base. Perfectly realizing that Genji is a danger for me here. As far as her ultimates go, yeah, this is another thing that I should probably mention about Alexstrasza. Very frequently, I have noticed that it's very true what I've heard other people say about her, that she needs another support to make her efficient. Just because that Gift of Life ability is something that requires her to constantly... I tapped it on Cassia there. The Gift of Life is something that... an ability that basically requires her to have another hero to heal her. And I tend to find that I work very well with Uthers. I think I've had like maybe 2 or 3 games where the matchmaking system paired me up in quick match with a second healer, and that second healer being specifically Uther. I've been second healer on most games. But yeah, and I Hearth again because once again, nobody's dealing with Murky. And I am not very good at dealing with Murky. Obviously, me having abandoned that fight there to go deal with Murky probably is what caused my teammate members to die there. Honestly, though, I kind of feel like they deserve it. Nova is the one who really should have been focusing Murky. With, like, maybe Kel'Thuzad as a close second. And forcing me to do it just... I mean, this is a waste. I should be healing people. I should be mass damaging heroes with Flame Buffet and healing heroes. Murky can easily just, you know, use his bubble to hide from me and heal himself again. So yeah, this is not, I mean, lack of communication. The typical lack of communication that you get in quick match games. But it's fortunate that our Uther, I think, did a pretty good job of keeping everybody healed without me. And, I mean, Cassia is just an absolute monster in this game. I mean, this particular match. She was doing pretty well. You know, picking and choosing her engagements very wisely. Whereas most of the enemy team, as I'm looking at this replay right now, I noticed that apparently they were mostly moving around in a bunch of 5 for most of the time, which is probably a wise choice considering, you know, we have a Nova on our team. And the common strategy for, or not the most wise strategy, I think, for dealing against high damage stealth heroes is just to stick close to your friends in case that happens. Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, there I go chasing Genji again. I love that ultimate ability so much. So why Nova decided to triple tap Genji, I don't know. Genji is a terrible triple tap target. Like the you got a Li-Ming, you got a Junkrat, and you got a Brightwing, all of whom would have made better targets. Genji can reflect it, Murky can bubble up. You know, and even if Murky does die, he's right back there again. Anyway. I go back, obviously, to go deal with the boss that they managed to pick up while we weren't looking. It's just... it's one of those very frustrating games for me, where... I should probably mention at this point that due to the frequent toxicity that I have witnessed with the Heroes Quick Match community recently, especially when, you know, you're playing new heroes, you face this all the time. I have my allied chat disabled, just because the common use of the allied chat is almost always cursing and flaming. Haha, get it? Because I'm a dragon? Yeah, sorry. So I just have it turned off, and you know, obviously that comes with the downside of then I can't tell my team what I'd like them to do outside of pinging. But it just, this game honestly is not worth the frustration for me. I'd rather just deal with the game mechanics and the enemy heroes than have to deal with my own team members being themselves. And I mean, I perfectly realize that this is a competitive game, and in competitive situations, you frequently tend to react in, burst out in ways that you probably wouldn't in normal situations. That's all perfectly fine. I don't necessarily judge anybody for the game unless they're being, particularly disruptive or, But in this particular case, I'm just like, I'd rather just not deal with it. So yeah, this is another interesting situation here. I foolhardily decide to go up against a Murky in the midst of a group of siege camp. My heal, my area of effect heal, works very well into Murky's pufferfish, where he can just toss it into the area that I'm healing. And in kind of a panic move here, I decide to go Dragon Form. Uther shows up just in time to keep me from dying, and this is a complete waste of my Dragon Form. Honestly, I just panicked in that case. A better reaction would probably have been to use my ultimate ability, take to the skies and start dropping fire above, because it's an ability that I can easily use for escaping as well. It's like her primary escape mechanic is her ultimate. It has a fairly short cooldown, less than a minute cooldown on it. Dragon Form has a much longer cooldown, so that was a waste of that ability. That was not an effective use. I used it to kill a Murky and do some area of effect damage against their creeps, but again, it was just a knee-jerk panicking reaction. There we go. I love that ability so much. I can't even begin to tell you. I've not been in a situation yet where I can effectively use Gift of Life. Like, it's a pretty good healing ability. You can use it to heal yourself or somebody else, right? Whoever has the higher health is the one who heals the other, basically. Well done, Nova. Kel'Thuzad, at this point, seems to have taken up the role of, lane pusher. Very wisely. Murky uses March of Murlocs. I decide to go help cover Uther's picking up of the nuclear warhead.
Warheads collected.
And this is pretty much the point where the game starts to turn. We have our heroic talents ahead of the others. Just in case, by the way, I haven't talked about this, I like to take that one key healing ability. In this game, I think there isn't really a lot of heroes that I could effectively decrease the damage of. Arguably, Li Ming and Genji could be easy targets for that ability. But I like to choose the healing ability just because it helps me keep my team members alive. That's primarily why I'm here, right? I'm here to keep everybody alive. And then this is another one of those situations where I tend to get extremely tense, because a lot of low-level teams at this point, they like to just keep pressuring them here, trying to push and see if they can't do damage to the core. Brightwing polymorphed my dragon there. That was smart. I went for the talent, by the way, that increases my Dragon Form in this case, and I also go for the ability where my ultimate can cause Dragon Form for 15 seconds after I land. Dragon Form is pretty much the best thing that Alexstrasza can do. It increases all of her healing abilities, removes the health cost for Gift of Life, and there goes Cassia again, just being a beast as she does. But again, this is just that typical overextension area where the team moves in, and the potential for us to just wipe underneath their towers and their core is tremendous. And so at this point, I'm noticing that two members of their team are down. We should probably go and get the boss, and it looks like the rest of the team is on board with this. And this is the point where, for some reason, right, Cassia goes back because she manages to get a good lightning ball, which, hang on, I'm actually going to rewind this for a second just because this is beautiful. All right. Here we go. Let's too far. Hang on. Just because I like this so much. So... Further back. Sorry. When Cassia drops that lightning ball... Here, this is the part where we escape. Cassia drops the lightning ball. Pay close attention to this. This is really hilarious. I'm actually gonna disable the camera here. And then watch this. So, at this point where we try to escape, right? Cassia drops her lightning ball. And in the most hilarious chain of events that I have seen in this game, Junkrat uses his bomb to toss himself away, effectively bringing himself closer to his allies and assisting us in wiping out his team. So this, once again, puts us in a 3-character advantage. And that's me pinging boss again, just because please don't overextend, I'm telling them. Let's just get the boss, and this is basically how we ensure our win here. We have to do this quickly, though. And of course they stay behind because they don't want to win, I guess. Because they think that taking down their core is a more useful... No, they want to take down the keep, obviously, but... It's because they have a Murky. And I'm fully expecting that Murky to start pushing the top lane at this point, because that's their strongest lane right now. So it's basically me and Cassia going up against the boss. I'm terrified at this point that we have waited too long, that we've wasted our opportunity, and they're going to come... intercept. But you can see our Nova down there on the minimap doing some nice interference, just threatening Li Ming just enough to stay away. And then this is basically where we win the game. Like, there is nothing that they can do at this point to outmatch this. We have a clear path on their core. I'm on my way now to pick up a free nuke again because nobody's contesting. I can see at this point that they're far away. Murky, you know, doing what Murky does, trying to push up the top lane. And apparently the rest of their team were thinking the same thing. They're like, at this point, like, we should probably just try and get a lane advantage in our strongest lane. Genji goes to drop his nuke on the top fort. But... yeah, this is pretty much where... that's me pinging the core. I'm pretty much like, yeah, this is a win situation here. All we have to do is push the core with, you know, support the boss. Drop the other nuke first. Here I go, dropping the nuke. Nuke goes down. And then put the dragon form just to secure our win here. See if I can't get a couple of kills. That was my mistake there, pushing Genji out of the area of effect. There goes Junkrat again. I try to bait him into dropping on me. And here I go, raining fire from above again, and that brings us to the end of the game. Final total, 21-10. It was actually not nearly as close a game as it looked, and of course Cassia getting MVP. Very well deserved. But yeah, so it was a very exciting game. Very frustrating, mostly just because the team refused for most of the game to do anything about Murky. But in the end, you know, it all worked out very well in the end. You can take a look at the stats if you're interested. I dominating mostly in the XP area. That's because I twice had to go deal with Murky solo. Yeah, you got Cassia with her 6 kills and 11 kill participation. Nova obviously getting the most finishing blows. But honestly, in my opinion, the MVP of this game wasn't really Cassia, it was Uther. Because Uther basically taking up the role of tank and healer in that game was what won it for us. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this, and I expect that I will probably be doing more of these in the future. It's a lot less stressful for me to have to just comment over the game rather than comment and play at the same time. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the future. If you, of course, enjoy this content, you enjoy me talking over Heroes of the Storm and giving you my play-by-plays, then feel free to express your enjoyment of the video in all the ways that YouTube makes possible. Leave a comment, like the video, subscribe if you want to see more in the future, and I will see you